So I've not done one of these for a week or two. So overdue. It's hot today. It's like 91 degrees in September in Spanish Harlem. So what I want to talk about today are a couple of situations on social media where two immensely cynical and negative, welcome to New York, cynical and negative people have just chimed in on streams. One of them was some young girl, just basically calling business all BS, blah blah blah. I'm busy here. Business all BS, you know, and she just made a quote and she wasn't qualified to talk about it because she doesn't know what she's talking about. And when I questioned her on it, she just shut up in the end, didn't respond. Backwards and forwards, then just shut up. And that's generally an indication when people realise they made an absolute ass of themselves. The second one, though, was I put a quote on from Tony Robbins, and I know these always get reactions because I know not everyone likes Tony Robbins. And this guy said he's just a huckster that sells books, which tells me this guy is incredibly cynical, he has issues, and it turned out after the fact he does. But I'll tell you Tony Robbins' experience, and I've done this a few times. I've been to quite a lot of his seminars. You know, I first got his books, then his tapes, then his CDs. And I don't know if it was the first seminar I went to of his, but the seminars are packed. You know, they're a one-day thing. They're like $1,000. There's 2,000 people in a room. These things are packed. And the first one I went to, they're done in quite a cold temperature, and we're watching. The energy's amazing. And all of a sudden he says, get into a group of 4. So quickly we get into a group of 4. So there's me, an old Korean guy who looked about 50, but honestly could have been about 70. There was a woman that looked totally overwhelmed by the whole thing. And there's another guy that just said, this is all BS. He's only here to sell us some books. And I said, have you been sent here by your company? Straight away. Because anyone who paid to learn and develop themselves would not take that approach to it. He said, yeah. So straight away I decided I didn't want to talk to him. The woman really didn't want to talk to anyone. She was just completely overwhelmed, out of her depth. Kind of felt for her, but you know, she was quite happy in her spot. The other guy, I introduced myself, and when I introduce myself to people, I don't use the term Mr. I don't use my last name. I just introduce myself as Tony. You know, even if it's a doctor, you know, I get first name terms. I deal with doctors and everyone first name terms. Okay, we don't need titles. We're not slaves. So I said, hi, I'm Tony. He said, oh, hello, I'm Grandmaster Lee. I went, what? Grandmaster Lee. I said, does your wife call you Grandmaster Lee? Yes, she does. Okay, that's a bit odd. And it didn't register with me. I thought he was a chess player, which you might find a bit strange. And I get chatting with this guy, and it turns out he's one of the main Taekwondo grandmasters in North America. And we get chatting, and you know, I hit it off with this guy. And as I'm talking, I said, listen, if I actually wanted to master Taekwondo, could I get a black belt in a year? He said, well, it's possible, but very, very rare. I don't think anyone's done it. I said, but could I do it? And he said, yeah. It's highly unlikely. What do I have to do? He said, is it combat or based on katas, on moves? He said, it's all kata, it's moves. Okay? You've got to know them perfectly. I said, how many do I need to know? He said, oh, it's way too many to learn in a year. How many do I need to know? Way too many, way too many. And this went on for about a minute. Well, tell me, just give me a figure, give me a number. And this is the same when I speak with people about business, and I say, listen, well, what sort of money do you want to be earning a month? Oh, loads. That's not a number, it means different things to different people. So I just said to this guy, give me a number. And he wouldn't give me a number, so just give me a number. He said, 7. I said, what, 100 or 1,000? He said, no, 7. I said, 7 moves, that's it. He said, 7 basic moves. I asked him, why are people not black belts in a year then? He said, well, people learn the first one, want to know the second one, then the third one. They haven't mastered the first one yet, and they're already on to number 3. And it comes to mastering something step by step. And at the time, I was training people, something else completely different. And so that's interesting. I have the same in my business. People want to know, you know, how to do something or how to approach something or about a product or something before they know the basics of rapport and connection and things like that. So life is very similar. Life is fairly similar. We're in a rush to do everything, but we haven't mastered the foundations. So there's two things in that. Whatever you're doing, unless your foundations are solid, the whole lot's going to come tumbling down. And secondly, people that are cynics and negative are out there, and they're just looking to get into a fight. The guy finally shut up when I told him I don't get into battles of intelligence with unarmed men, and that was the end of it. The street's getting lively. So that's it. That's what I got from El Barrio, Spanish Harlem. That's what I got, guys. Have a wonderful day. It's beautiful out here.